What's up, Roulette Fools? Brent with AllonBlack here. I'm excited for this video today because we're not going to do just one, just two, but we're going to do 3 strategies for you. I'm going to play them until you can see the progressions and get comfortable with that strategy. And then I'm going to continue playing for probably about another 20 minutes. And I'm going to fast forward that section so you can see it, but don't have to sit through all of it. Then I'll bring you back at the very end and we'll take a look at the results and see what it, that way we're getting a longer session in and you don't have to sit there and watch on that one session, 20, 30 minutes of it. And we're going to get 3 strategies in. So, but first, we're going to our website, allonblack.net. We have our new roulette analysis tool up, built for us by Clever Bets. Go to cleverbets.org. They have the auto betting tool. Get on our Discord. We have discount coupons, and we're giving away the Clever Bet app and a free strategy on almost all of our live streams. Okay, so you go to the roulette analysis tool, you scroll down, here it is. You'll see down here in the bottom right, there's this icon for full screen. Boom, there we are. If you create a username and password for our site, you can save your bets here. So every time you come back, you don't have to be redoing it. You can do it all over. So this one here by Leo is called Bay Harbor Butcher. I have it saved. And basically it's 7 streets, okay? It's 7 streets. But he designed it this way, so I'm going to show it in the way that he submitted it. It's basically 7 streets. He suggests 1 penny for a $100 bankroll, 10 cents for a $1,000 bankroll, which is what we're playing on, okay? So it starts with these 7 streets covered, starting with the 7th street and moving over 7. Now, again, you could just put a unit here and cover the same 3 streets with only 1 unit instead of having to cover 3. So if you're looking to do it with a smaller amount of money, all you do is put the streets here. Now, that being said, we're going to be playing on a French table. So I'm going to take advantage of the French layout for the other progressions because this thing moves around. It doesn't just stay here. And this is what's cool on our site. You can click the French roulette button here and it will change the payout schedule up here. So for example, on a French table, when you hit 0, these outside bets all get 50% of that back. So you see it has minus 210, which is the total amount of our bets that we're getting whacked. But if we had bets on out here, like $5 on low, you can see the rest of these lose 350, 710, but this one only loses 460 because it's giving us half the money back there. Pretty cool. Again, down here, I love this one. And we're going to have an up 1, down 1 button right here. We're going to remove this and there'll be a up 1, down 1 here, but that'll take your entire base bet. In this case, it's 10 cents. And every time you click it, it's going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, which is going to be really important because for any strategies that you like the ladder, go up 1 unit, go up 1 unit and come back down 1, this is going to be great. We also have a 2x, a divide by 2, and a 3x. And what's really cool is we have the full working wheel over here. You can set these at whatever neighbors you want. So if you want to play Casino Matchmaker, he loves that 13 neighbor follow the winner. Boom, you can do it. Look at that. Click here, fills it in, shows you everything covered, places your bets up here, 13 numbers, boom, done. And again, you can save your bets. Now, when looking up here, you can highlight these to go, show me my wax, and it's going to highlight it. I'm a very visual person. And when I look at the board, I just want to see a visual representation quickly. And that's why when I was designing this, I wanted it to be easy. So you can click wax, you can toggle on jackpots, boom, it's going to highlight all your jackpots. In this case, everything pays out the same. So all the jackpots will be highlighted. And in this case, because everything's considered a jackpot, there's no winners that are non-jackpot. Okay, so get in allonblack.net, check out this tool. You can create a username and password. And if you want to be able to save your bets, look out for our mobile app. It's coming. And I think the other cool features on this is drag and drop. Yep, this is not static like the other tools out there. You can drag and drop. You can take them off. Just like a regular online casino table. Look at this. Boom. Take it off. Okay. So very easy. And no matter what you stack here, it's going to show you the total amount that's on there at all times. Okay. So again, drag and drop. Boom. We just take it off and it's gone. I love this tool. Thank you, Clever Bets boys. You guys are awesome. All right. Let's get to actually playing this thing and see how it does. Let's go. What's up, fools? Brent with AOB here. Got some extra cash you can afford to play with? Join our top tier gambling site, raised.com, using my code and unlock amazing perks. Enjoy exclusive VIP transfers, daily affiliate cash giveaways, a paid leaderboard to boost your winnings, end of the month lottery for big cash prizes, and Fans Friday, where we pool our money and I play for you during a live stream. Plus, score awesome AOB merchandise and join the best gambling community out there. Truly, we're like family. Jump into our Discord and see what we're all about. Sign up today and start earning free money. Let's effing go. Okay, we are back. Here we go. And what I'm going to do, here we go. We are going to, no. Okay, here we go. We are on the pragmatic French table here. And I'm going to show you how I have converted part of this to take advantage of the French table. So let's get going. So the first bet, like I said, is going to be the 7 streets, starting with the 7, and we're going to cover 21 numbers. It's good to have this favorited, so follow along. I'm going to show you as we go through here just enough so that you can understand the progressions, how this pays out, what recovery is like, and then I'm going to keep playing, but it will be fast forwarded for you so you can still see it, but it's going to be fast forwarded, and then I'll bring us back at the end to kind of summarize where we're at. And again, I'm going to be tracking the results of all these that we do. And at the end, we're going to do a bracket challenge with the top 10 of these and see what comes out online. Okay, there we go. We're up $1.50. Now, no matter what happens, win or lose, we're now going to shift the 7 streets all the way to the right, which is this. Now, let me explain this because this is laid out for French. Instead of putting a number on all these out here, which if we hit 0, we don't get anything, we're going to effectively put 18 numbers, which are these 6 streets here. We're going to put 18 numbers on pass, which is high, and then we'll put our remaining 10 cents. This is the same as putting 1 unit on all of these. So if we hit a 0, instead of losing all of this, we're at least going to get 90 cents back from this. Hey, it doesn't cost us anything else, so you might as well take advantage of it. There we go. Now, no matter what happens at this step, whether you win or lose, now we're going to shift the whole thing all the way to the other end and do the same thing. And I have it laid out the same way. You see, I have 18 units on high, and then I have the remaining street with 1 unit on each. There we go. Now, the other change I made is that while there's different progressions, he simply martingales. I don't like that because we're covering 21 numbers and martingaling isn't going to get you quite back up. Now, he's counting on you winning more than losing with, 21 numbers. That's true. So I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's great. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. We're going to super martingale this bad boy. And what that means is we're going to double our bet plus add 1 base unit bet. Okay, so now we are at 3 units on all of these things for a $6.30 bet. When we win, not only are we going to recover, we're going to go up a little in profit. Okay, so I think that. Now, again, Leo says 1 penny for a $100 bankroll, 1,000 for 10 cents, which is what we have here. And honestly, with covering 7 streets, it doesn't seem like a lot. If you were to go, oh, I'll put $1 on those, this gets expensive very quickly. It can. There we go. All right. So now no matter what, we're going all the way to the right now. So we're covering the top 19 through 36 and then these 3 streets here. Hey, if you like what you see, help us out. Hit that like button. It helps us grow our channel, give us better search results on YouTube. We've been nerfed by Google hard, so we're fighting that. So do us a solid, hit that like button if you like it. Also, if you have a strategy, you want to make money, because remember, if this makes at least $50, Leo gets 50% of all profits as long as it makes $50. So if it makes $50, he makes $25. If it makes, $80, he makes $40. All right, so we missed on high. So we're going to go all the way down to low, and I'm going to double it plus add 1, and then double it, and 1, 2, 3. All right, we're up to an $18.90 bet. I very much like, if you are going to use a lower number like this, even cut it down even lower. Let's say you want to use 5 cents or 1 penny and you have a better bankroll. doing that 3x is going to be more profitable for you than doing just a standard martingale, but it gets more expensive. So just make sure you understand what your progressions are, because 1,000 looks like a lot, but it can vanish pretty quickly. All right, there we go. Boom, look at that. We're off to 1680 already, Leo. All right, he's hoping, come on, get to 50 bucks. And that's another reason why I'm doing the super martingale, because I looked at it and played it and said it can make profit, but I wasn't sure. I'm not so sure it would get to $50. Okay, we've been going for 4 minutes. I think you see the strategy. Start in the middle, go to the end, go to the opposite end, go to the middle. We're just basically doing carousel, super martingale, double plus 1 base unit each time. That gets you back into profit. Okay, so I'm going to leave you right here now. I'm going to keep playing, but I am going to go off and play this, and then I will just, you guys will see this fast forwarding, and I will meet you back here. The one thing, congratulations, by the way, to our winners from the previous video that you saw text up there. I'm not going to do the whole drawing thing because it takes too long. I'll just write the winners on the video. But the first word you're going to want is sweet, S-W-E-E-T. Make sure it's sweet, not sweat, S-W-E-A-T. So sweet, S-W-E-E-T. And I will give you the second word later on. All right, I'll be back once we're done playing this for 15 to 20 minutes. Cheers. Okay, we are back. We had a couple dips there, but overall we did really well. I want to get us just up a little over 60 so that Leo will get $30 coming to him. All you got to do, Leo, is make a ticket at this point. Darn, but we're going to have to get above 60 first. So here we go. Let's get there. All right. Nope, that's what we just did. So again, I did make one mistake, which worked in your favor, Leo. And that is, you can see this big jump that we had over here. It's because I doubled plus add 1, and then I doubled that and added 3. So I was 3xing, and luckily we won on it and we jumped it. But we're supposed to be doubling and just add 1 base unit, double and add 1 base unit. And you'll know that after a little bit here, it doesn't get quite all the way up there, but close enough. I really like the super martingale on this one. So, oof, but at least we had half that back there. That's good. All right. Double, add 1, double, add 1. All right, we're at 1470. This should do it for us. This should get us, I'm hopeful that this will get us at 60 bucks. And Leo got an E30 coming. So it went, for the most part, it went very, very smoothly. But you can see on these couple big ones, it started going. We were just missing. So it's really important that you understand your progressions and you go. So let's just wrap this up, and then we can get on to strategy number 2 of 3 strategies. You're going to like these. The second strategy you're going to like, Treasure Island coming up. There we go. 64.50. Like it says in the specifications, we go in increments of 5, or 10, so it'd be 70. So this is we'll split it. $64. You have $32 coming to you, Leo. Congratulations. All right, stay tuned. We're going to bring you the next strategy right after this. Okay, here we are with our second strategy. This is by Skiff, submitted by one of our members, Skiff, and he calls this Treasure Island. And I'm going to tell you why he calls it Treasure Island. What you're going to do is you're treating this as 2 separate bets. Your first bet is on the left, 710 double street, and the 1619 double street. That's bet number 1. Bet number 2 is a 25-28 double street and the 16-19 double street. So that's this middle part, that's the island, that's Treasure Island, okay? So you're going to treat these as separate bets, and we're going to use the Fibonacci. He suggests a bunch of them, but he says the Fibonacci sequence. You can see here by the payouts that if we hit the Treasure Island, it's making 4x what these are in the event that these are both the same. But if you have to Fibonacci these, then one side can start getting up, but every time that side wins, we're going to do something differently. Stay tuned to look how this watches. Again, you can see the payouts here. You can move things around in here if you wanted to. So check out AllonBlack.net. Come look at our new Roulette analyzer tool and let me know what you think. All right, let's get into it. Okay, here we are. We're not going to use the French table for this because it doesn't really matter on this one. It's tough to do it. So let's get started. I'm saving each bet separately based on his recommendation. Here's bet number 1, 7 and 10 and 16, 19. And here's bet number 2. That way I can click on those 2 save bets and do the appropriate progression for it. Again, we're going to use the Fibonacci progression. Now he uses a slightly modified Fibonacci, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. I believe he goes 15, then 20, 30, 50, 80. We're going to go ahead and go 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Then we'll start going 20, 30, and so forth. Okay, let's get our graph up here. There we go. All right, we're off to a good start. So when it happens that we're just at base bet, we're going to keep going. So again, we're going to treat each side as its own independent bet. So even if the left side wins, that means this side doesn't win if it hits the single unit out there on the far left, in this case, a 7-10, or if it hits a 25-28 double street. Obviously, if it hits a 16-19, both of them win. And so you're going to treat each of these as their own bets. Now, it's a little bit complicated as we start going through in terms of how you bring these back down. So stay with me. We'll go through. I want this. Obviously, we are going to get through this. We're covering 18 numbers. He considers it covering 2 dozens in some respects, but where there's an overlap on 6 numbers here. So once we get going, as soon as we start losing, I'll show you what we do, because there's some different things as you start going with the Fibonacci on your recovery sequence that is different. All right. But so far, we're crushing it right now. We're crushing it right now, Skiff. So, okay. And reminder, as long as we get to at least $50 profit, he will get 50% of that. And we do a little bit of rounding. I'm not going to do pennies. And, you know, if it's $63, we'll round it down to 62. I'm not going to get into splitting into 50 cents. But if you submit a strategy to us, I play it, gets at least 50%. You will get at least 50% of the profits if it hits $50. Okay. If it's $100, you got $50 coming to you. So get in our Discord and check it out. Wow. We are crushing it. We're off to an amazing start. 4-0. We're at $20 already. Let's keep this going. Okay. Again, this is Ice by Skiff. He calls it Treasure Island here. We're off to an amazing start. Let's see if we can keep this going. And after a couple minutes here, we will start fast forwarding, but I really want you to see how these progressions go first. So if this takes us a little bit longer, that just means when I get to the part where I play it and I fast forward, the fast forward will be even faster, because I want to keep these around as short as possible. All right, there we go. So they both lost. So they're both on the second sequence, which is just rebet, right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. I suggest that you have a tablet or something. I have my tablet here and I keep track of which Fibonacci sequence I'm on for each side. And that way you don't lose track, because it's easy to do, right? 20, 30, 50, 80. So I keep track of these separately. Here we go, 34. Okay. So in this case, it's easy. This first one, right? We're just going to go double it up. So 1, 1, we went past the second one. Now we're at 2. So we're going to add 1 unit to it. And we'll keep going. And we're still up $12. So we're doing okay. again, we want to hit that treasure island in the middle. If we happen to hit, let's say the 7 or 10 or 25, 28, I'll show you what we do in that instance. And again, I might modify your strategy like I did on the last one by Leo. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep 2 units over here, and we're going to bring, in this particular case, we're going to bring the left side back down to base. The other side's going to be up. If we hit 710 again, this is going to be a break even for us. I believe, right? 5, 6 units. Yeah, it'll be a break even for us, and we would just rebet. Or actually, I would rebet. I don't know if Skiff, because these are 2 different strategies, he might consider that a loss over here. And so I believe so. So we'll just play it his way. All right. Doesn't matter. They're both a loss, but that was the first one. That was the second one. So over here, we're on 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the left side, we're still at the 1 level. So I'm keeping track of that. So we really want to get a win on the right side. You don't want it to be so imbalanced. And that's what kind of scares me about these type of strategies is if you get on a run where you're getting wax, because we got plenty of wax, now as this side starts growing and this side doesn't, you can start getting yourself the hole, and it could be very difficult to recover unless you get one of these. Boom. All right, now we reset everything. Now what I suggest is you can go through any progressions you want, and it can be as complicated. We could be losing and you get it up here. I suggest on strategies like these, in fact, all strategies, when you get near recovery, and it doesn't matter if you're playing 2 different bets at the same time, 2 different, drop it down, drop everything back down, especially if you're in your profit. You don't need to get all the way back up into profit, right? If you're already in profit, just stay there. Wow, we're doing really well hitting that second one. All right, Skiff, I'm rooting for you, brother. I want to send you some money. So let's hope this goes here. Hey, again, remember, smash that like button if you would. Help us grow our channel, get our reach out further in YouTube since Google has nerfed the heck out of our channel. YouTube is really cracking down overall on gambling channel. I was talking to the Roulette Master yesterday or the day before, and he was talking about, the changes YouTube's making. It's getting really tough for us to operate. All right, there we go. So that one wins. The other one does not. So we're going to rebet, and this is on its second progression. All right. So we are on our second one. The next one, we will increase that side by another unit to take this up to 2 units. So just focus on these outside bets. That'll tell you what unit you're at right here, because this one could be varying depending on how many sides. So don't pay attention. Just look at these outside double street bets to tell what phase you're at. All right. That size stays put over here. Now, in this case, again, I look at it and go, I'm in profit. I'm going to keep it. I don't want to keep bringing my my progressions going. So I'm going to just start everything out over, again, both sides, and pretend like I haven't lost on anything, because there's really no need to. Okay. All right, so there's that one. So we're going to rebet again. And again, I think the idea Skiff wants is by playing them independently, and I guess I will. I'll go ahead and do that. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it at the base bet. As long as we're making money, I'm not going to treat these as separate. And maybe he doesn't. I'm not sure. That's the problem. If you submit strategies, the more complicated your strategy is, the more chance that I'm going to have errors with it or not fully, do it the way that you envisioned. All right. So they're both off that first Fibonacci sequence. We're on to the next one, which is just a repeat. So yeah, Skiff had it where he said, oh, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And I mean, he wrote it out pretty well, but still, especially when you're playing two separate ones with Fibonacci. And then what do you do when this one wins and this one loses and it gets out of whack? It's a little bit difficult. So I don't really recall what he said, but here's the change I'm going to make. If we're profiting, I'm not going to increase either side if we're making profits. All right, now they both lost. So now we are going to double the whole thing. And I'm just checking off where I'm at. And I can just easily look right here to see where I'm at. So I know that's 2. I know the next one will be 3, then 5, then 8. So very easy to take a look down there and go off of those 2 outside bets. That's how you'll keep track of it. Let's go. Remember, if you are looking to become an affiliate, we give a $60 tier match bonus for new affiliates. All right. Now we're going to go to 3. So we're going to add 1 of these on each side. All right. And I just do my check mark here. Like I said, you could be looking down here, but I just like seeing my visual of the Fibonacci sequence. I'm a very listy person. All right, let's go. So I want to make this 3 for 3 today because I want all these strategies to do really well. So the first strategy went and we ended up with $64. Oof. All right, we're both going to 5 here. So they're both at 5. I really hate, and I've said this a million times, how the pragmatic, when you're clicking the favorites, it's so slow. It goes like this. There's an animation. Whereas on Evo, you can click it. This really limits you sometimes when I'm trying to ladder up and add like 5 units or something. It's such a pain in the wazoo to get this going on. All right, Skiff, let's recover here. We want a treasure island here. Nope. Okay. Rebet. And 1, 2, 3. We're at 8 units on each one. All right. Let's see if we can get out of this. 1 hit on Treasure Island, and that's going to bring us back. But 1 hit on the outside bet is not necessarily going to get us back, maybe halfway back. So we really want those 6 numbers. And that's what scares me about strategies like this. Not only can you be missing a lot, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is so slow. All right, there's 13. Our next one, we're going to have to go up to 20. And well, the next one, the next one is 13. And then instead of going all the way up 13 plus 8, 21, we're going to go up to 20, then 50. All right, there's a hit on that one. So this is where it gets a little bit complicated, see, because we are at 13. So we got to go this one. And we got to take this one up to 13. And I couldn't even get that one up. So that's the difficulty with this one is I had to stair step this one down. I'm placing the bets. That's what I don't like about these type of strategies. That's what I don't like about these type of strategies. They can become very difficult to place the bet. And I'm glad that it didn't hit there. So over here, 13, we still got to keep going over here. Ugh. And this is so slow. So we're up at 19 and 13. It was letting me click them really fast for a second there. So I'm going to try to spam click it again and see if that'll do it. This will be good if we don't, but this should be at a $30 bet. All right, that should have been a $30 bet, which would have been a win. So we're going to rebet that one and take that to 20. And then this one, 21. That was 2 losses in a row. We're going to take this one up to 30. All right. So we're up to 30 on that one, 20 on that one. So it looks like if you spam if you click it and you spam it just right, it's not doing all the time, but you can make it go faster. So that's good news for us on the Prague table. You don't have to wait for it on the animation. I've tried clicking it fast before. It's kind of inconsistent. All right, that's good. We needed a win on that one. Look at that. Ka-chow. And I might be screwing these all up. I have a feeling I'm screwing these all up with the progressions. But that's okay. Skiff, it worked out in your favor. In fact, I'm pretty darn sure I added way too much to that one. So good on you. You got $86 so far. So I'm going to leave it here. We're at 14 minutes. I'm going to play it and we'll super fast forward it because I don't want this to be 14 minutes long. So I'll see you guys in a little bit after we let this run for a while. Okay. Phew. We are just going to stop right there at $178. This is the pros and cons of these types of strategies, right? You got those 6 banger numbers, but as you see, we were going all the way around them and that was, by the way, my last bet. Had we lost that bet, I was pulling the plug and it could have very easily. So I think if you're going to play these types of strategies, you better be ready to strap in. But Mr. Skiff, you are going to get roughly half of 178. You know what? While we're here, let's see. Let's do this. Let's just see if we can. Let's see if we can make $2 real quick. That'd take it to 180. You would get a straight up $90 bonus to you coming your way. But like I said, you can see that even with a $1,000 bankroll and a $4 starting bet and doing a Fibonacci sequence, that started hitting. And I promise you, that is not going to be a unique situation. Of course not. Just let us have the damn win. All right. Here we go. Come on. We get it. So that is going to be a regular occurrence for you, just like when you're playing the outside bet, because that's 18 numbers. If you play the outside bets, that's going to happen. All right. That's going to happen to you. You're going to go deep. So I would suggest even on $1,000 bankroll, I would not do the $1 units. I'm trying to remember what he said. I think he actually said maybe he uses $2 units. I can't recall. All right, there we go. So we got to 180, 180 even, Steven. We're going to call it $90 coming your way, Mr. Skiff. Thank you for sharing that with me. I wouldn't mind this. I think lowering this thing down, the units. I don't like the $1 units because that can definitely and regularly chew up $1,000. I personally believe, but he's had success with it. We obviously got 180, but we were on the verge of one last hit out there. We had 18 numbers plus 0 that could have wiped us out. And I was going to pull the plug. I wasn't going to lose more than $500-600 on this thing. So anyway, all right, that's it. Stay tuned for our third strategy coming right up. Okay, fools, we're back with our third and final strategy. This is by one of our good members. They're all good members, but he's very active, by Ops. And he calls it something. I'm going to call it Power Up. Again, you guys know how I feel about lame names, and I believe he calls this Corner Jackpot. Anyway, I'm calling it Power Up, and you'll see why. So we're going to start this way. 1 unit on the first column, you can see over there, and 1 unit on the 2-6 corner. And I'll show you how this progresses. So obviously we hit this with 1 unit. We're just going to rebet it as long as we're making profit or we get close to recovery when recovery, but I'll show you how the progressions go and you'll see why I call it Power Up. Okay. Now I'm using $1 units and his suggested bankroll is $1,000 with a $1 unit. So that's what I'm using. And let's see how that goes. We saw that we almost busted on the last strat. So let's see if this one gets close to it or not. But so far, we're just making dollars. So This is sort of, if you've seen our strategy, CYA, way back in the day, we did CYA, cover your arse. This is very similar where you have the third column on CYA covering, and then you have these overlapping corners. This is very, very similar to that, except it's not. It is. It's pretty much a riff on CYA, I feel like, but that's okay. It's different enough that I'm willing to do it. And I am going to be doing CYA. I get a lot of people asking me actually, all right, there's a nice hit. Look at that, $9. Okay, let's keep going. I didn't bring this and show you the roulette analyzer tool on this because there's just not enough here. And because it's a progressive coverage system, but maybe at the very end, I'll show you what those payouts look like as you start progressing. But right now, let's just wait. And I'll show you what this one is like. But so far, so good. We're at $9. And been going for about 2 minutes. So I really want to keep this one a little bit shorter here. So I'll play this not as long, but all right. I want to see, and if I don't get through all the progressions, I'll show you what it is. I'll show you what they are no matter what at the very end. But I got to get better at this. I don't know, maybe 3 strategies back to back to back like this, even with fast forwarding, is too much because on one hand, I want to get through these, but I want to take enough time till you can actually see how these play and what happens when they get into trouble, like on the last strat back there, right? So, but I'll try to do better on these, but I really like this format of being able to show you several strategies. Wow, nice. Show you several strategies as quickly as possible and still let you see, because we're fast forwarding it. I don't want you just to see 10 minutes of play. I want you to see a lot longer because we're only giving you 1 session, right? So 1 session means nothing. 5 sessions really don't mean anything as far as a strategy and how well it's going to perform. Like I've said before, how many of you have seen a new strategy? Wow, that's doing great. And you played a couple times and you think you're printing, and then it rinses the hell out of you, right? So, all right, there's a loss. So what we're going to do now, I'm glad you're going to see this. We are going to rebet. I'm going to add the next overlapping corner, the 5-9. And I'm going to add a unit here, and we're going to double it. So now you got 2 units on the corners, each corners, and you got 4 units on the first column here. Okay. So we're still up $15. We got an $8 bet right now. So this one can get expensive just like the last one. So he says $1 for $1,000. We'll see. All right. That gets us into profit. Excuse me. So guess what? We're going back down to $1. We're going back down to the $1. If we hit the corners, those are going to get us into profit as well. So you're going to want to watch this out to see what starts happening here in the next couple, and what we do when we get to our maximum level here and what the next step is after that. But we've been going for 4 or 5 minutes. I think what I'll do is play a couple more rounds here. There's a whack. Let's see if we can I actually kind of want a couple whacks, but at the same time, I want ops to make money. All right. And we double the whole thing. And by the way, the other 50% so the people who submit the strategy, so Skiff is getting $90 today, right? And Leo is, how much did we make? $64 on his? Yeah, $64. So Leo's getting $32 just for submitting a strat. You can too. The other 50%, I will be donating to charity. There we go. And stay tuned to the very end. I'm going to take a couple hits around the wheel. And whatever my balance is here, the 50% remaining that I'm going to donate to charity, I really want to give $500 to charity each and every one of these sessions if possible. So at the end, we'll do a couple large bets, which I also think about going, maybe it's just cheaper if I just give them $500 out of my bankroll rather than risking a lot more money to make the 500, but that's not nearly as fun, right? So stay tuned for that. That'll be at the very end here. All right. We're still winning. Look at this, 8-2. All right, I'm going to get out of here, watch this, and then I will come back at the very end and I'll explain what's going on if it's not explanatory already. But basically, we're going to keep spreading, and when it gets out to a certain point, we're going to stop spreading and going from there. So I'll be back. Enjoy. Okay, we're going to just stop right there. We are at 31 spins. I would love to keep going, but we're at $100. So congratulations, Ops. You're getting $50 to you. Let's take a look. So hold on right now. I'm going to show you, in case you didn't catch it because it was fast forwarding, let's walk through the entire progression schedule back on our simulator. Stay right here. Okay, here we go. So remember, we're going to put 1 unit on the 2-6 corner and 1 unit on this first corner. You can see we make $7, 7 units if we hit the corners, and 1 unit on that first corner, on the first column. If we lose, we're going to add the next overlapping corner with 1 unit. We're going to match whatever the unit was previous to that, and we're going to add that same amount here, and we're going to double. Okay, we lose there. We add 2 units to match, 2 units over here, and we double. Lose there, 4, 4, and double. Lose there, we're going to go 8 here, and 8 here, and we are going to double. And you can see the payouts here, right? Still significant, but this one ratio-wise starts catching up. If you remember, last time it was a 7-to-1 at the very beginning. Now it's 128. It's less than what, 30%? No, 50%. Okay, my brain, yeah, a little over 50%. Anyway, that's it. Once you get to this level, you're simply doubling, martingaling. But if you look at our bet, we're already at 160. We did get out here. If you go back and watch, we did get out here quite a ways. Luckily, I believe we hit like a 6. You want these in between, right? Because these tweeners here are going to give you, are flanked on each side. If you hit the 18 and 17 or the 3 and the 2, you can see those are actual losses. So you really are right here on these 8 numbers plus these 12. So you have 20 number coverage by the time you get up there. On the last one, it was 21, remember, on the previous one. But so start your progressions lower than this. He suggests $1 for 1,000. I think that's okay, but you got to be prepared to go the distance on that one. I think you'd be much safer if you went down even to, I think 10 cents would be really solid. 50 cents, pushing it. $1's definitely pushing it, but you saw we made $100 in, I don't know, about 30 spins. All right, that's it. Congratulations. So taking that up to 100, you're getting $50 back to you, Ops. We did a total of 190. Let's see, we made exactly $222. Of that, $111 are going to be going to charity. Hang tight. We're going to do a couple big spins and see if we can't get this thing up to 500 in short time. All right, we're back. We are playing. Remember, we have $111, so roughly we want to make another $400. I'd like to have a minimum of $500 to wager to get to the ASPCA for our fund. So let's see if we can get some here. All right. We are playing Gladiator right now, and we're playing Gladiator where we have 9 units on high. We have 1 unit. In this case, our units are $5, by the way. 1 unit on a split on the low side, 2 units on the 0, 2, and 3, and 3 units on any double street on the low side. Now, these all pay. You can look at the double street because this is essentially 5 double streets minus 1 number. This is 29 number coverage. Okay, we're making the way you determine on this, and this is set up to take advantage of the zero on the French table, is this, since this is essentially 5 double streets, you know, on 5 double streets, whatever that unit is on each double street, that's your profit. You get 1 unit profit, 5 double streets, right? 5-to-1 ratio. Our profit is 15. The 2 and the 3, those pay 3x. So these are going to pay 45. 0, it's going to pay the 45 that these would get, plus we're going to get 2250 back from this. All right. So that is a nice little banger if it hits the 0. All right. 4 is a total whack. Thanks a lot, dude. All right. And we are going to 3x, and I'm going to be very aggressive here. So we are going to 3x it and then double that. That's a 6x. You will know on 5 double street, right? You need a 5x to break even. A 6x breaks you even and goes up 1 base unit profit. In this case, it'd be $15 unless we hit the 2, 3, or the 0, in which case it would be more. All right, let's go. Let's see if we can get this. No. All right. Phew. 6 would have been a whack. That takes us into profit. There we go. $45. Let's keep going. And let's get a little more, let's get a couple more spins. It almost whacked us again. So let's get a little ways away from that first. And we're going to go. So we're at 312. I'm going to make a couple of big bets and hope we can get there in the next couple of spins. So if this spin goes okay, we're going to go in big at the next spin and maybe do 2 spins and see if we can get there. Oh, the 2 is a banger. There we go. All right, that paid 3x. That paid $45. All right, let's go in with a $600 bet. This would pay $120 on everything. If it hits a 2 and a 3 again, that would pay $360. If it hits the 0, it pays $360 plus another $180. We'll take that. So is that $530 or $540? All right, we'll take that though. Look at, we're up at $210 already. All right, let's see if we can get lucky. And this is another 120. That takes us to 210. So remember, we're shooting for about $400 here because we already have $111. That was our 50% that I'm keeping, part of the deal. If you submit the strategy, you get 50% as long as it makes $50 or more. The other 50% is going to be donated to our ASPC charity, of which I will start showing that tracking on the screen. We're over $2,000 already. All right, there's another $120. So we're at $330. We just need $70. So I'm going to bring this down. That's 15, 30, 60. All right, we're going to bring it down to a $375 bet. This would get us $75. That would bring us up to $405. We are at our $500 mark, and we can donate this money. And again, I'm going to do it right here at the very end of this video. By the way, our second word, did I give you the second word? I already gave you the second word today, didn't I? All right. All right, there it is. $405. We got to that pretty easy. Not bad. So actually, your second word is ghost. G-H-O-S-T. Ghost. That's it. So you got the first word, you got the second word, ghost. All you got to use those in a sentence. They have to be spaced at least 1 word apart. If you do that, you'll be in the comment picker. You can win money. All you got to do is get in our Discord, fill out a ticket, and that money's coming to you. All right, stay tuned while I set up our giveaway, and we're going to give away $500 in just a moment. Okay, just like we did before, here is the ASPCA landing page. You can see I can't fit it all into the screen, but here's the donate to the ASPCA. Same address that we've been sending it to the last time, the free Litecoin NN5S8. Let's get over to our page. We have Litecoin. We have our address 5C8. And I got a surprise. We are donating $500. He didn't want me to say anything. He wanted to be anonymous. but I'm going to say it anyway. Greg, casino matchmaker, contacted me and wanted to donate. He sent me $100 to send to the ASPCA. For that, I am very, very grateful. Thank you, Greg. Head on over to Casino Matchmaker's site. He's got a fantastic channel. Check it out. And again, thanks, Greg, for your donation. We've got the 600 plus the 500. Let's go. Take it out. Let's put our code in there. And away it goes. There it is. All right. It's gone. Hey, thanks for staying with me today. And again, click that link to the right side over here, and that has a donation for our ASPCA charity through YouTube. 100% of everything you donate goes there. I'm hoping to raise, we will raise $10,000. Right now, we have now given away over $2,600 this month alone in July to the ASPCA, as well as the the Humane Society of the United States. So thank you. I appreciate all of you. Truly be good humans. Let's leave this place better than we found it. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.